Hey guys, and welcome back. So today we're filming a springtime look, and I feel like I was so inspired today to do this look because it has been so warm outside here. It has been so nice. So I was like, we need some spring looks. I have some prom looks coming, and I also have to film my next Face Awards, which I already know what I'm going to do. I just have to film it. But I felt like the spring look was more appropriate today because it's beautiful outside. So when I sat down to film this look, I just like kind of had some of my Z palettes out, and I was like, okay, so I guess I'm just gonna like play and like see what I like lean towards more. And I started leaning towards like the blues and the greens, so that is the look that we came up with. I'm still not sure what I'm gonna call this look because it is so like different. But you guys know it's paired with a signature nude lip. I felt like this was the perfect lip combo for such a bright and intense spring eye. But that is me, you guys. If you're not comfortable wearing this look, you obviously can tone it down and leave some steps out that I've done. But if you guys want to see how to achieve this super, super dewy spring blue eye, then just keep watching the tutorial. Hey guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to jump right into this tutorial, and we're going to be using Peach Smoothie from Makeupgeek. I did have to repurchase a new one, and a Sigma E40, which I've been loving recently for a blending brush for my transition shade. And I am applying a warm shade first because obviously we have to, but we are going to be doing a colorful look today. So I just think it's super important to apply a base shadow down before you go in with colors because sometimes it can get a little bit blotchy. And I just want to make sure that the blend is super seamless with the colors that we're going in with since they are a little bit more on the vibrant side. So I'm definitely going to be blending this all the way up to my brow bone like normal, making sure that we coat it everywhere, even the lid. Now we're taking Dragonfly. This is also from Makeupgeek. I am obsessed with this color, and I'm using a Sigma E38. This color is so pigmented. I wasn't expecting it to be as pigmented as it was since it was such a bright blue shade. It was like a seafoam green kind of shade, but I am going to be applying this in my crease. This is going to be the second transition color since we're going to be going in with some blues and some greens. I thought this was perfect since it was a little bit lighter to use as a transition shade. So then I go back and forth between the E40 and the Sigma E38 just to kind of blend it out so it's like super seamless, because with colors you can kind of look like it's unblended since it doesn't like blend naturally into your skin. So that's why I like to apply the warm transition shade first, because that matches my skin tone. And now we're taking Boo Berry, and this is also from Makeupgeek. We are using all Makeupgeek Shadows today. I feel like it's been too long since I've used them, so I mean, come on, let's move it. So now I'm going to be taking a Sigma E25, and this is a smaller, precise crease brush, and I'm going to be focusing Boo Berry on the outer corner, and then I'm going to be dragging it up through my crease. And I like to kind of have my eye kind of half open because I like this to run right along my crease as my eye is open, because this is what's going to give our eye that depth. Sometimes people apply their crease shades too high, too low. So that's why I like to open my eye, because that kind of gives me the perfect area for where my crease is actually going to be with my eye open. So that's like a little tip and trick that I use. I just open my eyes slightly so I can see where the color is actually going to be. And it works pretty well for me. So now we're going to be taking the shade Time Travel, which is like a deeper blue, and we're taking a Smith brush. I don't remember the exact same number. I will leave it down below, but I'm applying this in the outer corner for super like amounts of depth, and then I will drag it because this is a pointed crease brush, so it makes it really easy to kind of cut that crease a little bit, and this will give us the depth that we want. So we kind of just took shades that were kind of similar in like tone, and then we just went a little bit darker. And it does blend out really nicely. I know that it kind of looks a little bit harsh right now, but as you guys see, it will all come together at the end. I mean, it's always going to look terrible before it looks good. So just like, don't get discouraged in the beginning. It's going to look terrible before it gets better. But just make sure to blend. I always kind of take the E38 and the E40 and just kind of blend it out until I feel that it is blended to my satisfaction. I feel like I like to blend a little too much. I'm a blending Nazi. So that's that. And now I'm taking Fantasy, which is also by Makeupgeek, and it's a foiled shadow. And I'm using a Sigma brush to apply this. I really love the shade, especially for spring. It's just like a nice pastel-y green. And I am kind of cutting my crease a little bit. I'm just taking the brush and dragging it right along that inner crease, like inner corner, like just dragging along my crease where it naturally is. And I think that this really complements the eye. I just like the way that it looks. It was like a subtle cut crease, but you don't have to make it a cut crease. You can just go through and blend it out later. But this is kind of the look that I was going for, a little bit more on the defined side. And I think Fantasy really does complement this look entirely. And then I will spray Fix Plus on my brush, and I will be applying that just to make it look a little bit more metallic and a little bit more intense. So that's what I like to do. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I wanted this to be a little bit more of a pop of color on my eyes, so it was kind of like, bam, you know, like in your face. And then I'm taking Time Travel and that Smith brush, and I'm just pressing it on the outer corner to blend it in a little bit more. So I wanted it to blend really nicely between the lid shade and the crease shades. And then I'm going to be applying some mascara, just some some voluminous carbon black mascara. Sorry guys, I'm all tongue-tied today. Like, I don't know what's going on, but just bear with me. So then I'm going to be taking the Velour lashes in the style Whispie Sweet Nothings. I do not apply them on camera, sorry, but they're gorgeous and they're just kind of like perfect for this look. And then I'm going to be taking a little bit of Fix Plus and spraying my skin. I really wanted a dewy skin look today. I was just feeling that it was super good for spring, and I'm sick of doing matte. So I'm taking this NYX Pro Foundation Mixer, which is the illuminating one. You are supposed to mix it with your foundation, but I decided that I was going to apply it just to my skin first and then mix it with my foundation just to give me more of a dewy, luminous effect. And then I'm going to be taking the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. I am in the color Y245, and this is more of a semi-matte foundation. It does give you a little bit of dewiness, so I thought that was perfect for this look. I wasn't going to go in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is such a matte foundation, if I wanted a dewy skin look. So I'm just going to be applying it with my fingers all over my skin, and I'm loving the way that my skin looks recently. The texture is amazing. It's that new skincare routine that I've been doing, and I swear to God, guys, it's made my skin, I mean, amazing. Like, I've been loving it so much lately. And then I'm just taking a really damp beauty blender. Do not mind mine. Mine is so dirty. I really need to throw this one out. I could have lied to you guys and told you this was the tan one, because I do own it, but like, this is dirty. I have to like get rid of it. I have so many extras. I just never put them to use. So then I'm going to be blending this foundation all over my skin. I really missed how much I loved this foundation. It really does give you such nice coverage, but it also doesn't make you look too heavy, too cakey, and it really does leave a nice finish on my skin. It doesn't leave it like textured or anything. It looks very smooth, very like photo and video ready, which I like a lot. And yeah, so we're just going to be done with that. And then we're going to be applying my favorite concealer of all time, which is the Naked Weightless Ultimate Coverage Complete Concealer, whatever the hell it's called. And I'm just going to be taking a little bit underneath my eyes since this is a full coverage concealer and I'm running out. You really don't need that much of it. And I really wanted to be a little bit more highlighted underneath my eye because the eyes are a little bit glam, so I wanted to match the skin. I didn't want to do like super basic skin and then have such glam eyes. I feel like it just kind of looks weird. And I've been a little bit red around my nose lately, so that is why I'm going to be applying the concealer there because I normally don't. And I just wanted to cover that up. So then I'm going to be blending the concealer in. Definitely going to be taking this and pushing it around into my skin. I want to make sure that it is blended in. And the reason that I look up when I blend is so it doesn't settle in those fine lines underneath my eyes. Yes, I don't have a lot of them, but I feel like everybody has them. So I like to blend upward or blend while my eye is looking upwards. So then it kind of just fills in those lines. And then I also like to set with my eye looking upwards, so then the lines are kind of stretched out and then it doesn't leave those like crinkles underneath your eyes. And this has been my favorite brush for setting my eyes. No matter how many Sigma brushes or Morphe brushes I use, I love this e.l.f. brush for underneath my eye. Like, I just think that it's so soft, it is so tapered, it is beautiful, and it's like $3 from Target. So if you guys want like a really good like under eye brush for like really cheap, I think this one is really good, and it's lasted me so long. I have like 2 of them. And then I'm taking just a big e.l.f. complexion brush, and I'm going to be setting the rest of my face because I always have to set my face or it will run off. And before I go in with powders, I always want to make sure to set my liquid with a powder. And then I'm going to be going over my brows because every time I apply foundation and powder, my brows tend to get kind of like lost in there because the powder kind of goes over them. So I always wait till after, and I will take the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel and comb through. And now I'm taking this NYX like fan brush, but I love it for bronzing my skin. I'm not really doing any crazy contouring. I know that it may look like it, but I am kind of just sloppily blending this all over. And I'm just taking the Anastasia Contour Kit, like the warmer shades, and I'm just kind of bronzing my skin just to kind of warm it up, give it a real springy vibe, because I feel like I'm wanting to be really tan and the weather is starting to get a lot nicer. So I'm hoping to get a little bit darker sometime soon, but I'm just kind of sloppily blending this all over, kind of just warming up my skin, bringing back some dimension so I don't look like super pale, because this foundation is light. I mean, I am light. Like, not the foundation, I'm light. And then I'm taking the Sigma F77 and cutting my bronzer. It just feels like it cleans up that whole area really nicely, and I have to do it even if I don't contour. And then I'm going to be taking the Sigma blush in Heavenly. This is just a nice, warm, peachy blush, and I feel like this is perfect for springtime. It's one of my favorites, and it complements my skin tone really, really nicely. And then just taking this stippling brush. I think it's from, like, Coastal Scents or Morphe. And then I'm going to be taking the Tartelette Skin Twinkle palette and the Morphe M501 and mixing the two shades together and highlighting the top of my cheekbones. I really wanted an intense, dewy highlight. That's why I went in with this one. I feel like it is very intense, very dewy. Do you guys see that? Like, I'm obsessed with how this look came out. Like, I feel like it came out really nicely, and I really like the M501 because it's super small and it kind of just gets right where I want it to on the top of my cheekbone. I will also be taking it on my nose and on my chin. I didn't do any on my forehead because I just thought that was a little bit too much, but I did take a lot on my nose and on my chin, and I blended it out a little bit with my finger because I applied a little too much. And then we are going to be smoking out our lower lash line. I'm using a Sigma flat definer brush, and I'm applying that Time Travel shade at first. And then I will be going and blending it out with a pencil brush, and I will be using the shade Dragonfly to blend that out. I wasn't going too crazy with smoking out my lower lash line, but I really wanted to kind of tie the whole look together since the top portion of our eye was a little bit smoky. I wanted to keep that whole theme kind of going throughout my whole entire eye, so that is just my little tip for that. And then I'm going to be taking the Makeup Forever Flash palette and this nice, like, baby blue shade, and I'm going to be applying this in my inner waterline. I don't know, I just kind of thought that this amped up the look a little bit, added a little bit more of a pop to it, like of color. So yeah, you guys can skip this step, obviously, but it's just what I wanted to do. And I'm taking the NYX Little Mascara, and this is my favorite to apply on my lower lashes. I think that it just works amazing, and the brush is super small. And now I'm taking Anastasia's liquid lipstick in Naked, and I obviously had to pair this with a nude lip because the eye is super bold, so I didn't want to do any, like, bright lips, so I wanted to keep it very nude, and this lip is perfect for that. And like I said, this is Naked from Anastasia. This is her new spring collection, and these are my favorite, obviously, of all time. And then I'm going to be carving out my lower lips. I'm overdrawing a little bit because I want my lips to look a little bit more on the full side, and my lips are a little uneven, so I kind of just use this time to even out my lips. And then I will be spraying my whole entire face at the end with some Fix Plus to set it. And that is all, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all in my next one. Mwah.